Hi, I'm Tara Powers, CEO of Powers Resource Center, and I am doing this quick little video as a resource for those of you who are finding yourself working from home for the first time. And this is based on a webinar I've been doing for a lot of my clients who are giving some support to their employees, helping teach them some good tips about working from home, and I wanted to share some of those with you today. So if you have found us on this webpage, you may not know me. I am the CEO of Powers Resource Center. I also wrote the book Virtual Teams for Dummies, and I have run my own virtual team for the past 10 years. So I've taken a lot of information and research and my own personal experience, and I'm so grateful to be able to offer a little bit of support around this topic right now. So we're going to just go over a couple key tips for all of you who are finding yourself working from home. And you are going to find these tips in a flyer here, or a one-page document that you can certainly download and print off as a reminder. One of the first things and most important things is that we quickly figure out how to engage and be great virtual meeting participants, because that demonstrates to your team, I care, I'm here, I'm ready to show up, I'm resilient, I got this, right? And so a couple key reminders, and these are things that you may have done in the office without even thinking about it, but now that we're in our home environment, we get a little comfortable and we forget. Number one, agree with your team when it's appropriate to turn on the camera. So if you've agreed to turn on the camera, be presentable and be in front of the camera. So very important. I even encourage teams to just say hello using the camera, even if it doesn't need to be on the whole time, because it just is that personal connection to see each other. We're wired for human connection. If we are relying too much on instant messaging and email and text, we're really starting to feel disconnected. So camera on when you've agreed to do it. Be on time. No multitasking. I know many of you out there are multitasking while you're on these virtual calls. You cannot critically think or creatively think when you're multitasking. You can hear what words are being said, but you cannot critically think and process what's being said. So I really encourage you to clean off your desk space, put everything out of the way, stand up like I am right now when you are on a virtual call and you're on camera. It keeps you engaged, it keeps you focused on the meeting in front of you. Something really important, if you've been asked to attend a meeting and you have no idea why, don't hesitate to ask for a meeting agenda, or how can I prep? What should I come prepared to answer, right? Let's start using these meetings wisely. Let's make sure it's a valuable use of everyone's time. This is my favorite, and this is a great goal that I set for myself. When I've been asked to attend a meeting and there's a purpose for me to be there, I make it a goal to contribute 3 ideas or 3 comments. That demonstrates that I'm engaged, it demonstrates that I'm a valuable part of the conversation, and it shows my team members that I care. Great idea. Lots of teams have been doing this. Ask for a walking meeting if you can, if you are all local or the time zones work. Can we actually make this a walking meeting? Or as I mentioned, stand during meeting. This creates great engagement when we're getting oxygen, right, to our brains. Find a place to be present. So I just worked with a CEO last week. The only place he could find in his house to be present on a very important work call was in his bathroom. And if that is the only place where you won't get interrupted for 40 minutes or 30 minutes, go there. But it is important to find a place to be present when you're on an important call with your team. Always say hello. Don't just get on and say nothing. Right? I can't tell you how frustrating that is. I've been doing these for years and years and years. And when I got a whole group of people on and no one's saying hi and I'm standing here talking, right? So lonely. It's lonely. I want to know you're out there, right? So it's just so nice to say hi via chat, turn on your camera, give the presenter or the meeting leader a wave. Don't eat during meetings. Unless it's a virtual lunch that you've planned or virtual happy hour, it's really helpful not to eat. Most people can hear you. We forget we're on the mic. We might even forget we're on the camera. So try to not eat during meetings except for, of course, water and snacks. Maintain presentability. Yes, you have to get dressed from the waist up, right? At least. And actually, it does a lot for your mindset to get dressed for work every day. And when you're done with work, get out of your work clothes and then put on your comfy sweatpants and sweatshirt. Super helpful for your mindset as well. And then lastly, and everybody should be doing this, at the end of your meetings, asking yourself and your team, was this worth our time? Was it valuable? How can we get better? Right? We are now having virtual meetings for some of you the first time ever. We need to be checking in on how we're doing constantly. This should be a team habit that we're getting into. So those are a couple key points for you to remember. Second thing, collaboration best practices. So these are based on important best practices companies have done, my company has done that work really well. Key is that a connected team is a strong team. So consider establishing work from home buddies. And this is outside of the team checking in with each other, but establishing that one person on your team, and you could do this as a group, who you know is going to check in with you once or twice a week, and they got your back. They just want to know how you're doing, right? They're not checking in on work. They're checking in on you, your mental health, your physical health, how you're feeling. That means a lot right now. So I would encourage you to think about doing that with your team. Brainstorming. We want to make sure we're still engaging in collaborative brainstorming. We want to be using that whiteboard technology that a lot of our video conferencing software has. Or we have people brainstorm at their desk before we jump on the call, and then they can present something that they drew or put in a PowerPoint, and we all get to see everyone's ideas and vote for the best idea to move forward. But the only way to do this is that we are using our collaboration tools. So whiteboarding technology, drawing, all of that stuff, we want to make sure we're all up to speed and using that. Another important way to collaborate when you're doing these meetings is using polls, engaging in chat, right? Super, super important. I use Zoom and I have the ability to break people out into rooms. If I want a discussion or a debate to happen, if I got 10 people on the call, it's too many. So I'll break people out into groups of 3 or 4 and have them actually discuss for 10 or 15 minutes, and then we come back. So there's so many collaborative tech tools that you might have at your fingertips that you don't know that keep you collaborative and connected. And then lastly, you want to make sure as a team, you're scheduling not just professional check-ins, work-related check-ins, but that you're scheduling personal check-ins. And I heard a great idea today about not just checking in personally, but also checking out at the end of the day. And I thought that was really special, right? That at the end of the day, I just send a quick chat to let my team know, hey, thanks for connecting today. I thought we did great on this. Here was an example of what amazed me, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. What a nice way to close out the day, that check in and check out, but on a personal level. So that's some collaboration best practices. And then the last thing that I want to cover, because this is so important for all teams to be thinking about, are ideas for building trust. And I'm just going to give you 12. There's a million out there. You can find a bunch on this website, actually, a bunch more. But here are a couple that some teams I've been working with have been using. Virtual lunch and happy hour. Great idea. I recommend it highly. Except last week I had too many happy hours, so I had to cut down this week. Opening up your webinars 15 minutes early for personal connection. So maybe the webinar starts at 11, but you let everybody know I'm going to open it at 10:45 so that we can personally connect. Having a chat or instant message channel that is just for fun. It is so important we keep our humor about us right now. It also builds resiliency. So having that chat channel just for fun is a great idea. Begin every meeting with team time. I was on a team call last week. We all brought our pets onto the call, or our kids, or something that was really meaningful in our home that we wanted to show people and tell a story about it. You can start every meeting 10 minutes doing that. It makes a huge difference. There's a lot of great ways to get to know each other better, even if we've worked together for a long time. You can do 5 interesting facts, 2 truths and a lie. You can share family traditions. You can share meals with each other, or family traditional meals that people cook at home and you all eat together. All of these are such great ideas to establish that connection and keep it really strong. Sharing wins and recognizing those wins regularly. Sometimes just getting up every day and getting dressed and showing up is a win. So recognizing that is so important. Celebrating life events. I've had so many teams over the past 2 weeks tell me they've had retirement parties virtually, surprise birthday parties virtually, baby showers. We can do a lot virtually. Just because we're virtual doesn't mean we can't still celebrate. Deciding on a charity that your team wants to support together. That's a great way to help each other get through this, give back in some way. Learn together. Right now, there are so many free opportunities for learning, including this webinar. Share it with your team. Talk through ideas that you're learning. Teach each other. Another great way to stay connected. A couple other fun ideas. I've seen have teams doing house tours, pet intros. So really fun ways to stay engaged. And then my last idea is just at the beginning or the end of the week, just having open chatapalooza, right? Where we're just chatting with each other, giving recognition, giving kudos, closing down for the week, and really giving thanks that we're still working together, right? And that we're supporting each other, I think is so very important. So those are my tips for all of you that find yourself thrust into virtual work for the first time. I encourage you to download these, take them back to your team, sit down, talk about them. Our goal is to provide you with support and resources to help you get through this time. Please reach out if there's anything else we can do. Stay healthy and stay well. Thank you.